He said it wasn't anything. Like every source I got was like,
It's actually make them more official. All right, we are live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Salem Public Library Advisory Board meeting. It is 5:05 on March 11th. I apologize for it starting late. That was my fault. Let's see. Let's do introductions. Start. I'm Valerie Harrison, the chair.
Bridget Escetta, city librarian.
Eric here.
Nathan Garrettson, Assistant City Attorney Counsel for the board.
Sage Beisel, co-chair for Teen Advisory Board.
Alex Marvin, ARC librarian or advanced reader copy librarian for the Teen Advisory Board.
Christy Kemper Hodge, Teen Services Librarian.
David Levy, member.
Debbie Lockhart, member.
Hi.
Clyde Psyche, member.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. All right. The minutes. Did everybody have a minute to look over the minutes? Okay. I don't know if that matters. I don't think it matters.
I move we approve the minutes from February 11th, 2026.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Okay.
I wasn't here.
Okay, perfect. You need me to tell you who made the motion?
Please, first was
Kara,
Kara, second,
David,
David, thank you.
and then Debbie.
All right,
Public comment.
none received.
On to the Teen Advisory Board update.
Yeah, so the tab pick book display in the teen scene has been going well. Kira has been pulling titles from the recommendations by tab members, which tab members submit, and the books have been checked out regularly. A team even asked about how to join tab after Kira added a QR code that will tab right page of his display sign. That's good. At our February meeting, tab members met Kira, the youth services library assistant who's supporting teen services. They also enjoyed a White Elephant book exchange.
Yes, how'd that go? Okay, good.
It was fun to watch.
In March, Tab is celebrating one of our seniors, Lydia. She's been on Tab as long as possible. She joined after her 5th grade year, and she's being recognized by the city of Salem for her recognition and service. She was recognized last Saturday at the closing ceremonies of the Eileen Youth Summit. And also, we're moving forward with planning our spring and summer teen events. And we are considering a summer reading program promotional video and summer prizes, likely featuring Sage the Sasquatch, just a heads up.
As a yeah.
And inspired by y'all's public comment thing that you guys do every meeting, we came up with the idea of having something similar with teens so that we can have feedback, ideas, etc. for our meetings and ways to improve. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity to report. Any questions?
I'm so glad about the White Elephant book exchange. I stole the idea and I pitched it to my work and we didn't do it. I'm so excited. And so like, what better way? We get asked for our recommendations all the time, but to force our coworkers to read it is going to be the best. So thank you.
Thanks.
Do you know what you're in need of for the
Take what you need.
take what you need? I was gonna say wall of things. That's not it.
It's kind of like a wall of things.
Totally.
That is not inaccurate. Perpetually, deodorant.
Okay.
It's kind of the perpetual need. It's one of our pricier items. It goes quickly.
Okay.
I think of where
Sorry. I'm gonna put you on the spot every month.
that's totally fine. I
Okay.
have no problem with that whatsoever. But I feel like that, and then we'll be getting ready to offer sunscreen, and there's you can get the little like kind of ketchup packets of sunblock. I don't know how else to say it.
Description.
It's kind of like a little sample or like a one use, and those are perfect.
Okay.
But yeah, with the changeover into spring, we're kind of like running through the last of our like gloves and beanies and things. It's still cold at night, but we'll be moving into sunny weather. And that is something that we sometimes struggle to keep in
And where do we drop
inventory. Any service desk. Yeah, they just let them know it's for take what you need and they'll make sure it gets to me. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah.
They also have an Amazon wish list. You do Amazon, and it will ship right to the library.
It's a little bit buried on our website. So if you have any follow-up questions about that, just let Bridget know and I can help with that.
Okay, perfect. Anything else from Tab?
I think we're kind of in like holding pattern mode. We've got some really big projects that we're working on. And so for the next couple of months, it'll probably be like, and we're still figuring that out. Since we chip away at things kind of like an hour at a time at our meeting.
Sure.
Yeah, but I think we've just got some really exciting events coming up in the next several months. So we're trying to like break those down and the officers are really helpful with that. That is not one of my fortes. So being able to break big things down into smaller pieces has been something we've been working on. And then as we head into summer, we also open up our teen advisory board applications. So those will open kind of with the beginning of summer reading. They close into July, and then we'll be regrouping for interviews in August. And that's something that it always kind of slips my mind as we get ready for summer. So that'll be another big project that we'll be taking on.
Thank you for sharing. You're welcome to stay and you're also welcome to leave. Our feelings will not be hurt.
Thank you so much.
Right, chair's report, that's me. Let's see, so Kara and I met with Nancy, the chair of the Friends. Taylor wasn't able to make it, but I am gonna have a phone call with him later this week. We just wanted to meet with the three boards and figure out like, what's your history? What do you do? What can't you do? What do you spend your money on? What can't you spend your money on? What events do you have? How do we support each other? So we learned a lot about Friends. The Friends. They have some very exciting book sales coming up and some art sales coming up. I think they just posted their next book sale. They're doing some new things, which is fantastic. I'll get back to you on what Taylor says. But so far just supporting, it sounds like Friends could use some support during their book sales in people coming to their book sales and also possibly volunteering. So I can put up, I'll email Bridget their list of dates and we can put those on our calendar and help them. Was there anything you wanted to add about that? Okay. I have a
Oh,
person.
they do need a secretary.
Oh, yeah,
So if you know of anybody who's interested.
that's true.
In volunteering for that particular role. They're down a person on their board, so.
Sounds like maybe they'll have some changes coming up and spot open. We have city council meetings coming up every 2 weeks. I would love for one of us to be there in person. If that's not doable, I understand because they're 3 hours long. Just watching it and then that way if anything needs to be talked about at the meeting. So I have a list of those dates. Maybe after the meeting, everybody can just like, hey, I'll take this date.
Are the dates that are listed in the discussion, are those the dates you're looking at?
Oh yeah, sorry, those were in the discussion items. I didn't even see those. That is it for the chair's report. City librarian report.
We had a very busy February. You will see by the numbers, especially the comparisons from last year's is something to note. We have been a lot more busier, but also we have extended hours. So that also helps with those numbers and why, the feeling a little bit more busy and why Clyde can't find parking on Saturdays. But you'll find some lovely pictures of all the wonderful events that happened. Although it was Salem Reads and it was very Salem Reads heavy, we still made sure to honor Black History Month and had a couple bit of presentation. We had a book list and a big display for it. And right now we have up for, I think for the rest of March is this beautiful historical rotating display where you can read about Henrietta No, Henrietta.
Letitia Carson.
Letitia, thank you. Letitia Carson, and her trailblazing and find out more about her history, that which is in the regular Yarn Art Gallery on the main floor. But we've had the wonderful Oregon Black History presentation. We brought in 91 attendants, but our biggest event that we had to date is the author talk, which we had 780 people attend. And I just want to shout out to the remarkable work that Sonia did to help move the event after we had, we had it at the Salem Grand Theater first, and it only seated 500. But once we reached that registration within a month, we knew that we had to move it to a bigger location. So we're so happy that the convention center was able to accommodate us and able to seat everybody and not turn anybody away. So lots of things learned from that big event, and we're excited to see what happens next year.
It was wonderful.
That's what I keep hearing. I sadly missed it, but I'm glad everybody else had a really good time.
There were several people who were, one woman, she was actually crying because she was on the waiting list for the grant.
Oh,
And when they moved it, she's like, I can't believe I get to be here. I mean, she was just like, she was really moved. So,
Yeah.
and I saw a bunch of people I haven't seen in years and got a lot of.
Oh.
I know, remind me to never volunteer with Tara at anything ever. Every time we do, she's like, knows everybody and I'm just checking tickets.
Not going to be my people.
I love it. I heard a lot. I was on the waiting list. I'm so grateful this is at a bigger place and that it was free.
Yeah.
And parking wasn't an issue and just,
Which is a big plus in Salem.
yeah,
Yes.
it was wonderful.
Also, the author was amazing too.
Amazing. Yeah.
She had a lot of energy. She stayed through, I mean, there was a big line for the books signing
Mhm.
apparently, and she
Oh,
was
yeah.
she was as nice as she was from the beginning as she was to the 700th person who was in line. So that was really great.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Now, we went to the the presentation that the library foundation did earlier.
Oh, yeah,
So that was really nice too, an
Yeah.
opportunity to do some one-on-one with her.
I know.
And she was wonderful at the start of the day and great at the end of the day too. So that was nice.
And so Sonia put Valerie and I in charge of walking her to the convention center. And we had a time schedule. Sonia's like, she has to be out the door.
Right.
at 6:15. We got her out the door.
We did.
Pretty well, but yeah, it
Mid
went.
conversation. Come on, let's go.
I was like, you have 2 minutes. Like I do with my kids, 2 minutes. But then we had stolen moments of like getting to talk to her and her publisher, like as we were walking, which was phenomenal. So
Yeah,
I think this is the biggest one they've ever done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
By far.
Oh,
and it was big. It was bigger than Med. She was going to Medford the next night.
Yeah.
I think they had a cap on their registration. I think she said 700. So
that's right.
Oh,
Ours
wow.
was seated.
the biggest.
You're like, note to self, when we go to Salem.
Yes.
Yeah, fit.
Yeah. And Carly did a
Showed
great
up.
job interviewing her. Wonderful.
I also want to point out that we have 4 wonderful high school interns that are happening right now, that are helping us right now, and they have been wonderful. And you can immediately feel the relief between staff and operations because they're here on evenings, they're here on weekends, and they just shelve everything and they just help keep this big machine going. So a huge shout out to Faith, Graceland, Sydney, and Addie for joining our team. And yeah, that is something I didn't add on here is in February we did the first round for the deputy city librarian recruitment. Bless you. Thank you. And we had some really great candidates, and we're so great that now we have to add another round of interviews. So that is hopefully happening next week. So that's still ongoing.
Okay, good.
Quick question, on your report. So previous years to date, like, so that would be February of 25.
Correct.
Okay. So it is a big, wow, it is a big jump. Wow. And obviously the previous month was longer month, so I'm assuming that kind of, because the numbers are a bit higher
For last month,
for,
yeah.
for January.
Days.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I did read the city audit report.
Yeah, thank you for reading it.
While I was waiting for the plumbers. It was a good time. Can you talk about, is that finalized now? I think when you sent it, it was maybe like not preliminary, but it hadn't been like unveiled to city council yet. Has that been done?
Yes, so they did talk about it during the budget committee meeting. So it's already public. City council's already read it and have received it. So it's already out.
I was just curious about the recommendation about volunteer coordinator.
Yeah.
And I think you said you agreed, but is that kind of I know you need a deputy first.
Yeah, so I mean, we're always looking for ways to make operations more efficient and how to, cost savings. And we know adding a staff member is definitely not cost effective. But we are going to see internally what we can do to help gain that 0.5 or assign that 0.5 to somebody who really has a passion for being volunteer coordinator. So right now we're still kind of seeing how we would do that, because another thing that we're trying to work on and that wasn't in the audit is that people are still wanting and expecting outreach and to serve the underserved. And that's really hard without people.
Right.
But that's what they're hoping with the volunteer part of it. We'll have, rather than having 2 staff, have 1 volunteer, 1 staff, and it's like less staffing
Right.
to be. We just need to figure out how, one, finding the person who's passionate to do all the coordination for volunteers. Because if you haven't worked with volunteers or if you haven't been in that role, it takes a lot of training, a lot of coaching, and then you have to find the right volunteer with passion and willingness to keep learning and growing, because you are representing, I mean, all of you guys are all wonderful volunteers, dedicated to the work that you do, and it shows. And we want to find that right people that want to go out there and be our like brand ambassadors of the library, and maybe do a craft with people and help us keep growing our services. We still have the 2 branches that is promised in the bond. So there's just a lot of layers that we need to figure out, and that's not gonna, we need that. I need help.
Yeah.
I can't do it all on my own, but also we need to figure out how we can manage this big building with the staffing that we have.
Okay.
Would it be realistic though? I mean, can you add positions at this point? Or I mean, but budgetarily, you probably can't do anything.
Correct, because we are limited by the levy funds,
Yeah.
and we have to share that with 2 other departments. And, as we knew going in that the money wasn't going to be enough. So we have to stretch every dollar. And even now I'm like, I already have things that I'm cutting, in like services and stuff, not programs, not people. It's just like, okay, do we really need like this piece, this software? How long are we using it? We're that's going to save $1,500. It's out. Like looking for ways that we can cut corners and not spend as much, because then the more savings we get, the more we can allocate for future fiscal years. So, and that's another thing that our city manager also has vocalized, like look for efficiencies, look for ways how we can maximize our supplies. Can we share? Can we, ask another department? I know Center 50 Plus always asks me for our price wheel, because they're expensive. They're like $500 or $600. I'm like, yes, of course. Here you go. Here's a prize wheel for you that they'll use like once or twice a year. So things like that, we're looking for ways of how we can save money. And also we're lucky that we have our support boards. We have a lab that has money. We have foundation that has money. We have the friends who gain money through the sales that they do. So we're very fortunate. So even if we do have to cut in the future, we have all of these support boards that we can turn to and say, can we please have some money for this program, or can we have some money for this collection?
And that's one thing Nancy talked to us
Yeah.
about, is that they're realigning their process to match, to better fit with your planning for, for the things they pay for outreach and activities and things like that. So
They were so generous we just renewed our budget this year and we increased it by 4,000, and everybody's like, yes, of course, let's purchase more puppets. Like this is the first time I've seen puppets actually on the puppet rack because they were always gone.
Yeah.
And now there's puppets for everybody.
Yay.
You get a puppet.
Everybody gets a-
Culture passes, we're slowly building up because there's a lot of like children's pulled out. There's other ones that don't want to give us more passes. So
Interesting.
yeah, so we're working on building that up, and library of things is still, we're still adding things. So yeah, there's a lot of great things happening.
Yeah.
Just to follow up to the comment I read the audit too, is I know that there is an interest in others, but I know there's demands on the capacity that you guys have. Is that something where you could turn to your partners, the friends and the foundation to maybe help fund maybe a one-time, half-time position in the building?
We've had this discussion when we were going through the cuts
Yeah,
a few years
yeah.
ago, and I think the resounding answer was that we don't want to staff positions that are not sustainable.
Fair enough. Okay.
So we want to make sure who,
Collective bargaining issues.
And so I'm wondering, I was wondering whether you could get interested.
yeah, so if, because we could apply for grants if that was the
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
So we just want to make sure that whoever we do add on has a stable job here and not dependent on how much funding we have left.
I think, sorry, I didn't mean to take us totally off track, but
No, you're fine.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, anything else for Bridget? We'll go to the Friends of the Salem Public Library report.
So, following up on what you talked about earlier, Val.
Yeah.
The spring book sale is going to be April 17th through the
Perfect.
19th. And then they're having what they call their art and artifacts sale on August 15th. So that's just 2 dates I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of, and they're always looking for volunteers to help out. And I know David's helped out in the past, and any help that we can give, they would really appreciate it. That's it.
Right? Do we have a foundation report?
I missed the foundation report, and then our member who's assigned is not here today, so no foundation report.
Okay. David,
Thanks, Madam Chair. I don't have a report for the Oversight Committee. The meeting that was supposed to happen this month was canceled. So scheduling difficulties. So our next meeting will be, looks like April 30th. The end of April. So I won't have any updates at our next meeting, but I should have something for me.
okay, perfect. Discussion items, sorry, I jumped the gun. Do we want to dole out who's gonna go now, or do we want to do that after the meeting is closed?
I'll take March 23rd because I can actually do that one.
I can do the 27th of April.
And you want to start at 6?
Yeah, it's 6 to 9.
I do stream them if.
Mm-hmm.
May 25th, I have on my calendar as Memorial Day. Will they?
Yeah, I had a question about that too. Will they?
It'll be good on Tuesday.
They do it on- So it'll be May
26th.
I can do that.
Okay.
26th.
I can do June 8th.
Do April 13th.
And what is the times on it?
It's 6 to 9.
6 to 9? Okay.
Maybe when we get closer to May 11th, we'll figure out that one, or I can go to that one also.
June 22nd.
Thank you. That was fast. Any other questions about that before I move on? Great. Strategic plan goal updates.
Oh, that was me. I just suggested we put this on our agenda to remind us that we picked strategic plan goal.
Yeah.
For the year. So I thought, and we had picked improving kind of our board foundation, friends,
Mhm.
relationship, And what was the other one? Good too. Oh, volunteering.
Yeah,
So that was actually part of my question about the volunteering. And I think, has Sonia had any? It was all, we were all like all Salem Reads for February, but does she have things coming down the pike that?
Needs volunteering help. Not at this time. I think we haven't had any right now. We don't have any big events planned anytime soon, but I will reach out to her to ask if to keep you all in mind and
Yes.
send out that invite.
Send it to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
You have to send it to me so I can.
right, send it to you
Know
to send.
everybody,
everybody,
yeah.
so we don't have all that goofiness. Yeah, volunteering.
well, I'll jump in while you think about that. Our last time we did, our discussion about what our goals should be, it was the orientation packet. I can't remember whose desk, yours, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So I had Nathan review it, and thank you, Nathan, for reviewing that handbook like six,
Yep.
7 months ago. It's now on my desk.
Okay.
And I started to review it, and I'm answering all of his questions. But because,
it's totally fine.
yeah,
Is it something I can help with, or it's something you have to do?
it's something that
Okay.
I have to, that I
I
have
just
to do.
Don't worry about it. I just didn't want it to be sitting like waiting for me.
And at last meeting, you said we'd had one applicant for the 2 open positions. Have there been any others?
Unfortunately, no. And as far as I know, they haven't met yet for the boards and commission recruitments, like the volunteers.
It's,
I don't.
I think it's
Okay,
the
you're not
13th.
part of that one, are you?
The-
No.
Appointments, I abbreviated it. Look at me. Now I can't remember what it was. Committee meeting, is that it? Where they meet during the day and they vote on,
That could be the one. Yeah.
I think it's in 2 days.
Okay, then that's the one, yeah. So usually they review and they that's just the formalization is like, here's the people, does everybody agree? And then as soon as they vote for it, then I get the email saying, hey, this is your new member, contact them. So
Okay, great.
Is it possible, at the community events that we do, that we have like a 1-page overview of the LAB? And maybe if we were interested, because I mean, there were 780 people at the,
mhm.
I think that'd be a nice place to recruit potential LAB members. And, I was at the Black Pioneer one and there were close to 100 people there. So I mean, I think there are opportunities in the community where, and there's library materials there anyway. It'd be nice if
Right.
people could pick some of that stuff up too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I'm already envisioning like a little bookmark saying, are you passionate about your library services? And
I don't want something to spend a lot of time on, but something that people can pick up and say, oh, yeah, this. it makes
And I love
sense.
the bookmark idea. I mean, they stick it, they might forget about it, but then they open up their book and there it is. Oh, yeah, I was gonna do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's also a vehicle of when volunteerism is more coordinated, how can you
Sure.
get involved too? So.
Yeah.
so we have we had somebody working on a little flyer for all of our volunteer stuff, but I think what we got into was that, well, not all of the volunteer boards are going to have openings. So like TAB, I think you guys are pretty full right now, right? Right now we do have 2 vacancies, but normally, I mean, we were full for a good while, so we're not recruiting. For library jobs, there's a lot of divisions that don't recruit because they're already full or don't have capacity to recruit and train. So that's the issue we kept running into. It's like, well, we would love to have just one flyer or bookmark that says, hey, volunteer at the library. And then with all the volunteer opportunities, but that's it. There's not volunteer opportunities all the time.
But at least you have an inventory of potential people that might be interested.
Yeah. When I worked for the city of Kaiser, I did the volunteers and I would always take their applications and then just save them under the file for that board. And that way, when there were vacancies, I could send them a letter and saying, okay, we have a vacancy now. Are you still interested? So, maybe like you said, if you have that kind of pot with everybody in there that you could reach out to when there was a vacancy, that would be good if we could figure out a way to do that.
if there's not success with the current application, the one, is that something we could use a library Facebook post to just say, I'm passionate about your library. There's 2 openings on, library advisory board. Here's that link to the application.
Friends is asking for a secretary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
things like that. I mean, friends can do their own.
Okay,
yeah.
never mind, just kidding.
Well, no, I mean, just because we advise the library. I was thinking using
Yeah,
their
yeah.
library.
Right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Library.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's different. Uh-huh.
It's a different, there's no formal process to get appointed to Friends, I don't think. Nancy didn't mention anything like that.
By the end of, when we are recruiting for TAB, we will have at least, what, 5 open positions?
Oh, yeah.
Would love to use this year.
Ah,
So
okay.
you guys,
So that will happen like in May?
I think we open in June, because we open at the beginning of the summer, and then interviews are in August, once we vet people.
so that's another.
That's gonna be a fun process.
Mhm.
I remember from last time, you guys got a lot of applicants.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's great.
Oh, I know.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
a quick
Wish we
question
had that.
for Nathan. If we wanted to set aside an ex officio position on the library advisory board for, let's say, TAB, to have, does that have to go before city council or can we create one ourselves?
We don't have anything in the bylaws about amending the bylaws, do we?
No.
There is a little blurb at the end.
Is there? Oh, there is. Okay, CPRB, that doesn't, that's my other board.
We're
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah, you guys are, you guys are much,
Sorry.
much lower stress. Let me take a look at that, I heard.
I thought we did talk
We did
about this
talk about it.
at the last meeting, and I think we would need to have a formal process of putting
What that
amending
would,
the bylaws on the agenda
Yeah, I
and putting the proposal out and having a
Be a public comment?
Oh, wow.
comment and a board action on it, I
and
believe.
since there's already a process where, because we don't even get to pick our volunteers, it all goes through the boards and commission process. Would this ex officio member have to go through that process too?
I wouldn't think so, since it's ex officio. I mean, it's but that's, I guess, that would be up to kind of.
Yeah.
But if they're getting a voice and a vote, then are they getting a voice and a vote? Or is it just
Voice,
here?
Not a vote.
Okay.
I mean, as a possibility, yeah.
In the boards I staffed at the state, ex officio was by virtue of their position. So it was like, head of an agency was the ex officio, but they were named in the rules and,
Yeah.
um,
And I guess I've worked with other states where it's, you get somebody there that's expertise, and so they don't necessarily have a vote, but they're there to provide their expertise. So.
and I think
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, we just need to make sure we define what we want the role to be. We being royal, we being you guys. But yeah, I mean, the bylaws, like, you can amend it all you want to restructure. And I'll check with our head city attorney and see if if anybody in city leadership has an opinion about that they want to weigh in. But I think as far as getting someone in and like if it's an advisory position, that doesn't really like change the actual like voting regulatory structure of the board. And that's an easy ask, I think.
I just think that TAB is such a formal part of what we do,
Yeah.
that to have a kind of a permanent perspective on the board would be helpful.
For sure.
And can I ask what's happening first? If there was you had to be, I mean, you're already often coming to our meetings anyway to give reports, but if there was you're gonna be appointed and you need to, is that gonna be a burden on your time? I mean, you spend a lot of time doing top things other ways. And you have like school.
About my money too.
What level of commitment would it be?
It would be like
1 hour.
an hour a month plus, plus reading, some things ahead of time, that sort of thing.
Too much, I'm not, how's it affect you?
I would say, yeah, I'm here all the time because it's easy for me to get here from school on Wednesdays. So for me personally, it wouldn't be that bad to just like up the commitment a little bit. But the reason I'm here every time is because I'm usually the only person who volunteers. So, and that's not a bad thing for you guys, that's just people don't often have the time or resources to come every month. And I think if there was, while there would be some people who would make it more of a priority, if it was a specific position, it also would be a little bit of a bet whether or not, a gamble, whether or not somebody would be able or willing to fulfill that position.
Yeah. And by not having an official designated slot, you can rotate who comes.
That's exactly what I was to say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's pros and cons, I think, and not, it's great that you come and tell us all the amazing things you're doing, because it's like usually the best part of dating.
It's like, I'm
It's true. So I mean, I'm thinking through.
Approving the minutes, not the best thing.
Oh, I feel like it would almost make, sorry,
No,
I
it's
feel like it would almost make more sense for someone like Christy or another team librarian to fulfill that position rather than an active tab member. Also, the maturity levels vary so strongly and the time spent in tab varies. So even if someone was able to have the time and ability to come, they may only have been on the board for a year and they don't know all.
And they
the
may be
ins
a
and
senior,
outs.
so they won't be on next
Like,
year.
I would, yeah, exactly. I would offer myself, but I'll be
Right.
gone in 6 months.
And I guess, and I appreciate your analysis and your definiteness. I guess I have a lower expectation. I would just like a formal vote, a voice on the LAB, and as that can be a rotating voice.
Okay.
That can be, but I just think as part of your perspectives are very important, but having another voice at the table to provide a stakeholder, which is what you guys are, perspective, I think is really important. That can be a rotating voice. And maybe some months that they're not there and they don't have to be counted as part of forum and things like that. I just think it, to start this out, to have a voice that can give us a perspective, it's really helpful. At least that's my perspective.
I think as long as it's an optional thing, because I think that could also scare a lot of tab members if they have to have a voice or an opinion
Yes.
at a board that is kind of like higher than them. That could be scary. And I know surprisingly, the library nerds are not always the most extroverted. Speaking up publicly on a adult board. Sure.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
Yes.
There would be a certain pressure to understand what the interests of tab were that I'm not sure if all of them can do, and it's not a reflection on them, but
Sure.
there's things going on that if somebody's been on it for a year, for a few months, for however long, it's a bit of a gamble on how, if there's gonna be somebody who fits these criteria. And they get a crop of.
Is that,
tab
that's something you'd be willing to take back to tab and talk about? Just as an idea?
Sure.
Yeah, I can definitely bring it up to Christy.
Just gauging interest to David, if there's like widespread panic. That's the name of a band, by the way. In the olden days.
And you have to know that in order to.
Yeah. I was a library nerd and I grew into talking. about
Right.
it.
I love talking.
What?
I am one of few.
Right.
Yeah.
I have no problem with the ex officio idea. I think just in practically speaking, I want it to be a good use of their time and also give us the input that we need to, so.
But it's also an opportunity for y'all to grow. I mean, an opportunity to kind of sit at the table and find out how decisions are made. That helps with your resume. It helps with other things that you want to do. But I don't, it's not necessarily something to put more pressure on you. I just think, since teens and youth are such an important part of what the library does, having your voice at the table is helpful in whatever format that comes out.
We can't expect library staff to fill that.
That makes sense.
Okay, that's.
Right.
Yes, that's why it's yes.
So keep that in mind. It'd have to be.
So maybe you're gonna check with
Speaking of turn, is that true?
council just to
I'll check.
make sure we aren't ready to follow something we don't know about.
Yeah, I'll check with. Still with the city attorney's office.
Kind of maybe a random idea, wouldn't you- like, would that make more sense to be like one of the teen intern positions? Like an additional, something similar to that where they don't already have the responsibilities of being a tab member, but I guess they wouldn't be able to really speak for tab then, right?
Yeah, we want a tab voice
Yeah.
at the table. And again, if people can't come, you know, I mean, this, I envision the seat will be there. And this will be an opportunity, you know, you guys can decide, okay, hey, Mary Jones, this is your month to, you know, be on, you know, the tab and, you know, give us perspective.
When is the next tab meeting? Oh, tomorrow in the 5 o'clock?
4:45, yes, 4:45.
You almost always have our meetings right after this one.
Oh,
So we can bring it up there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That's great, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to action items. There's any?
nope.
And just the one question to follow up, sorry. On this, you mentioned, you know, we have 2 bond propositions that passed. Where are we in terms of, have they identified a site yet? Have they, do you know how far they've gotten?
No movement towards that, towards any of that. And I think there's really no timeline. I know that the 2 library bond projects was scheduled to be.
Could you try again?
Ooh.
Hi, robot.
Was scheduled to be the last thing that is gonna be focused on with the bond money. Right now, they're working on the city hall renovations. They're working on a lot of bridge projects and street maintenance projects. When I looked at the timeline, we were at the very end. And I know we're having some discussion now, but I mean, it's very, very little like, right now there's a lot of moving parts in the back end. And since we're trying to work with urban development housing to kind of connect with them to help with the costs. But then we keep coming up to that wall of like, well, we have the money for the sites, but we don't have the money for the actual staff. And that's what makes a library a library. And so that's another, you know, problem to solve on my end is how do we staff 2 sites when we already struggle staffing here? So, right now we're getting a lot of feedback that West Salem hours aren't enough. And looking at the numbers, it's getting used a lot more.
It is, yeah.
And I purchased 10 more chairs because there's not enough seating, which is a great problem to have. But that tells me that community members want more of that library branch. So all that to say is that, you know, I look at that and I worry. I'm like, well, if that audit really showed that even with the 40.5 staff members, we're in par when it comes to hours and services with all the other libraries that have 4 times as much staff as we do, and of course, a lot more budget than we do. But we're doing just as much as they are, not at the programming level, but as far as services goes, foot traffic and all of that, we're just as busy as they are. And one of the key differences that I don't think it highlighted enough is that this is a massive library. This is a central library to me that we are part of a consortium of 18 libraries. We are a net borrower. And so what that means is that since we have the most registered patrons, almost 70,000 people, that is a lot of holds to process, a lot of check-ins to process, which is all happening and need people to handle. So for a central library to have 40.5 staff and also staff a small library branch that's open 25 hours a day, I'm very proud of the work that our staff do, all the work that our volunteers do, Clyde for helping with shelving, Tab with helping our programs, like beyond grateful. But I know that in order to staff 2 more library branches, it's going to require some really strategic thinking. I don't know what that is yet, and I'm hoping a fresh brain in this organization will help us guide and figure that part out.
Or at least take some of your brain stuff off the
Off
plate
the-
so
off
that
the
you can
plate.
do that work.
Thank you.
Any miscellaneous board items? Excellent. Is there anything else before we adjourn? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thanks, guys.
5:49.
Bye.
Bye, Clyde.
Thanks,
Safe travels.
Good to see you, Clyde. See you tomorrow.
Remember, I'm not gonna be there.
Oh, okay. You're gonna miss out on the fun.
Yeah, I am.
Do you guys still need help with shelving?
Bye.
Bye.